Hi, this is me. I'm Amanda, and today I just want to give you maybe a little bit of background information on why I started doing this. I think I really started because lately I've seen so much stuff about kids being bullied, both boys and girls. It doesn't matter these days, and you can be an adult, you can be a teen, you can be. When I was growing up, I mean, bullying was bad, but today it's so much more dangerous because we have the internet, we have, um, you know, phones, we have tablets. I myself will not be giving my child a tablet or a phone unless it's just to call mom and dad. They will not be able to get online at all. It's too dangerous. Um, so back when I was cool, I mean, I started being bullied at, 5, 6 years old, and I still have no clue why. Um, I was taken out of public school and went into private school because it was just easier for me to learn in a smaller classroom. Even there, it was brutal. Remember, we had to do this activity where we had to wear this paper heart, and anytime someone else, we had to tear a little piece of that heart off. Well, guess who had no heart at the end of the day? Me. Told my mom about that, and she was just furious, as she should have been. Um, that was when I was 8. Eventually, I left the private school and came back to public school, and by that time, it was already the 4th grade. And if you don't grow up with people, you're going to be the outsider. So I was the outsider. In 4th grade, my father chopped my hair. Um, Pretty much, I looked like a little boy with earrings. That was the only indication that I was a girl. Um, I had hair down to my waist. It was so pretty. To this day, I'm still trying to grow it. And I'm 38 years old now. Only time I have remotely long hair is when it's straight. Um, it is what it is, though. Um, I eventually, made it through elementary school. God's by God's good graces, I suppose, and started middle school, which is where I started cutting. Actually, that's a lie because the first time I cut, I was 6 years old. But it started to get more prevalent when I was in the 6th grade. Um, I never could fit in, no matter what. Um, didn't stupid clothes. I didn't have anything that they really should pick on. But anything they could do to me, they did. That's when I started having pencil shavings dumped on my head and gum stuck in my hair and food slung at my back. And it was just, I don't know what I ever did to provoke these kids. And today, it seems as though, you're in more danger because of, the advent of Facebook and Twitter and all these other glorious things. It's pretty sad. But now, kids are even more violent and they're stalking you. Uh, a kid can be around the corner with a knife that you got in a fight with that day. If that's the case, we all know that schools don't protect kids. In fact, my mother was just telling me about one of her friends has a daughter who was being bullied in school and got roughed up, and the school didn't do anything but suspend one of the kids, and I don't know, something else happened to one of the others. And I told my mom to tell this friend of hers that she needs to go to the police department on the parents because the parents are liable for these kids' actions. Somebody has got to be held accountable. And if the kids are too young, then their parents need to be in trouble. Usually I'm all about the kids being in trouble, but as parents, we have an obligation to teach our children right from wrong. And we're not teaching them right from wrong. We're just letting them do what they want. Um, when I was up, I had it really tough as far as um, how I grew up at home, which is probably another reason I turned out to do these videos. I grew up in a pretty rough atmosphere. Um, my mother got involved with a man who turned out to be an A-class bully. And every day, not only was I bullied and brutalized at school, I was bullied and brutalized at home. Um, so not only does it have to deal with high school, middle school, and elementary school bullies, it has to do with grown adults as well. Um, I hope that any teenager out there or child, God forbid, whose parent is with an abusive partner, don't be afraid to tell somebody, because that's what the bully wants. My mother's boyfriend had me thoroughly convinced that it was all my fault and no one was going to help me. He coached me what to say to defects. And I lived in fear and isolation every day. In fact, I started living on the street at 13 and going to school, being harassed at school, eating out of trash cans, and trying to find a place to sleep at night so I didn't have to go home. So I mean, it's amazing how I kind of survived. Um, I actually really, my cutting got really bad. And by the time I would say in ninth grade, I had several scars already. Um, my mother's boyfriend was getting worse by the day. Um, I felt at the time that my cutting was the only thing I could control. Um, and as bad as this sounds, I'm sure somebody out there is going to agree with me. Um, Cutting almost felt good because it was the one thing that let me know that I was still alive. Um, as these videos progress and I get more and more comfortable, um, I will read some of the book that I never published. I actually wrote a book. I spent 10 years off and on writing this. It isn't only to help teenagers, but it's also for the parents and for the teachers of these children being abused, whether it be abused by fellow students or abused at home, so that the teachers can be aware. I myself had a few really phenomenal teachers who really protected me, and then there were some who enabled the students to do what they wanted to me. And we'll get into some of that later on. But it's been quite a struggle. It made me never want to trust anybody, and I grew up a pretty angry person, and rightfully so. I mean, by the time I was 17, I had dropped out of high school because I wasn't going to graduate anyway. To ride across country with a 45-year-old trucker, I don't even want to go into what happened there. But yeah, it was tough. But flash forward to, I met my husband, I think when I was, let's see, 32, 33, around 32. I got married at 33, so I'm one of the late bloomers. Um, God bless my husband. He is he's definitely been a rock, and I kind of bullied him because I was bullied, and sometimes I don't know how to talk to my husband at times. But he's the man who never gave up on me. Um, And now he is chipped away at the and brought me into the person I am today. Um, I'm going to be a mom next year, or adopting. And I'm going to be a really good mom and watch out for my kid. Because I know everything that I went through. I never want to see my daughter go through that. Um, and that's another thing that, I'm definitely going to get into later on. Just want to give a quick shout out to Annalise. Annalise, she is awesome. Um, she's kind of been my inspiration to get my channel up and running. Annalise Quinn, I'm sorry, sweetie. Y'all follow her. She is an amazing person. Um, wow, I can't say enough about her videos. Thank you so much for giving me the inspiration to help me do this, and hopefully I'll be helping some other people along the way. This is not about me being famous. This is not about anything but trying to help some people out there. Along with bullying, and this is going to be a little long today, so I apologize. Y'all don't want to see it, you don't have to. I want to touch on something that I went through along with the bullying, is attempts of suicide. Because so many, even kids, okay, I've seen kids as young as 10 kill themselves because of bullying. Unfortunately, it's a sad reality. I think my first suicide attempt happened when I was probably 14. For me, it was pills. It's always been the pills. Um, I tried to take my life one time, and I was very, very close to dying. I was staying in a college dorm that someone was supposed to come check on me and never did, but his roommate found me. I had been throwing up for 8 hours. I was ice cold, barely responsive. And he dragged me to the hospital. And since I'd been throwing up for so long, there was nothing left in my stomach. But they had to give me fluids and make sure that I was going to be okay before I left. I fully believe that this guy was, kind of my angel, so to speak, and watched over me, because for all accounts, I should have been dead. A lot of times I should have died. Evidently, I'm here for a reason, and I believe that now. Um, I'd like to think it's to try to help somebody out there. I know next year when I become a mom, I'll be helping my daughter, have a wonderful life. Um, she'll have two great parents. Just hang on 1 second, folks. You're trying to do something here. Okay. A little lost. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So just to make you guys smile, I have the world's sweetest pup right here. Rush, wanna say hi? Hi. There's my baby. And here's Scooby. Scoob, wanna say hi? Best dogs ever. All right, y'all wanna leave me comments, questions, concerns, stuff you'd like to see, just hit me up and I'll be more than happy to talk about it. Bye for now.